rationale for war. I've never quite understood why it was so high on the administration's agenda when terrorism was going on in Afghanistan and Pakistan, and that it had no true connection with Al-Qaeda. And I feel totally comfortable saying any of that at some point, you know, if required on television.
That was CBS Evening News anchor Katie Couric speaking at the National Press Club last night. Couric pulled back the curtains on her personal feelings on the war in Iraq, prompting questions why a network anchor would blur the lines, some say, between commentator and news person. Joining us now is the president of the Media Research Center, Brent Brazell. I'm going to guess, call me Kreskin, will go I'm out against Katie Couric. That's what I'm guessing. But, Brent, let me ask you this. I understand that it's a matter of opinion that we were misled. I think that is opinion, and I'm surprised that a news anchor would give an opinion like that. But what we're not talking about is she also said she felt corporate pressure from NBC after a tough interview with Condoleezza Rice to back off because she was too confrontational. Should network executives tell a reporter, your questions are too tough on the administration?
No, she wasn't too confrontational. First of all, she made a fool of herself with her interview with Condoleezza Rice when she said famously, "Who made you the boss of us?" That's the statement that I think probably got her into trouble. Secondly, I'm glad you said what you said, Alan, about about us being misled. That's an opinion, and I think it's a false opinion.
It's my opinion, but I'm not a news anchor. Go ahead.
But if you're going to have that opinion, I think you also have the responsibility to say that it was not just George Bush, but the Clinton administration and a whole host of other entities.
Well, that's another issue. Bill Clinton did not go and remove Saddam Hussein.
It's not another issue, Alan. It is her saying that it's the Bush administration who's doing this.
Well, they did.
And for her then to turn around and say that she's perfectly comfortable doing this on television, my God, whatever happened to the news media here?
Well, one of her things that she was critical of is something you're critical of, the media. When she said the media didn't ask tough enough questions of the administration, you had the New York Times using Ahmad Chalabi as a source. You had Judith Miller reporting what he said. You had the New York Times doing the bidding of the administration. The media was not tough enough on the Bush administration prior to the war. She's absolutely right about that.
You know, Katie Couric proves the old adage right, that a person who second guesses is never wrong. There's nothing this administration can do that doesn't turn into an attack. General Katie Couric spent 2 years, like everyone else, attacking the Bush administration, saying that we needed to take the troops out. And they were opposed to the surge. When the surge worked, and Katie herself had to admit it when she was in Iraq that it worked, now she comes back and says, well, everyone knows there weren't enough troops in there to begin with. George Bush can't win.
Hey, Brent, look, I don't have any problem that Katie Couric has strong opinions, a desire to express them, but she's got the wrong job. If she wants to be a journalist, if she wants to be the face of CBS News, if she sounds like Alan Combs in this interview here.
Well, some things are good.
It is absolutely true, Sean. There's the problem with CBS. It is in a complete meltdown right now. Have you seen their numbers on the evening news? She's down way below the lowest Dan Rather ever sunk to. She's gone way below. She's lost half her audience, almost half her audience since she started. And it's because they can't tell the difference between news and opinion anymore.
You know, there was a point at the beginning to feel sorry for her. It's one negative story after another. The ratings are slipping. She's not doing well. I think this was probably the wrong job for her. She was great on the Today Show, and then she got to show a different side of her personality, fun, and people liked her. Now she's trying to be, you know, Edward R. Murrow or Walter Cronkite, but yet she's got this agenda. Do we see this on a regular basis? Because that's your job. You monitor this every day. Are these opinions seeping through in ways we don't see?
Yes, you do see it, and we have reported it on numerous occasions with Katie Couric. However, that doesn't mean that she's always going in the wrong direction. But what happened last month? She went to Iraq and she reported that the surge was working, and she came under blistering fire from the left as being a stooge of George Bush. This was her way of genuflecting at the altar of MoveOn.org last night.
Is that a result of this new media phenomenon? Because my term now is the MoveOn.org media and the MoveOn.org Democratic Party. They seem to have a stranglehold. If you're Congressman Baird on the West Coast in Washington and you say that the surge is working, even though you voted against it, you're going to be attacked. If you're Katie Couric, you report good news, you're going to be attacked. Is this all a reaction to this George Soros-funded group?
This is vicious. Look what they did. Look what they tried to do to Bill O'Reilly. Media Matters, the George Soros crowd. This is the face of the far left. And by the way, I don't put Alan Colmes and people like Alan Colmes in that camp.
No, I don't either. But they seem to have this intimidation. They can now intimidate the top leaders of the Democratic Party and the top media faces we see.
Hey, we got to run. I think there's an attempt to intimidate Katie Couric. By the way, the surge is working is also an opinion, and she gave that opinion. You had no problem with that, Prince.
That was a fair report.
All sorts of evidence that is supported by things called facts.
And there are things that disagree with the surge working as well, that other reports that say that otherwise. Thank you very much for being with us, Prince.